thinking? You have so much makeup that you have to shame yourself for it on the internet, and yet you choose to do your eye makeup like that? And to that I say, yeah. So the whole framing of my channel has been that I have too much stuff and I'm trying to get through it and look at everything with a critical eye and assess whether or not I still like it and really kind of narrow down my collection and make it more me. And I really started doing this last year in January, and to kick that off, I inventoried my makeup and I also inventoried my clothing, which we're not going to talk about today, but we'll talk about in a video very soon. And I felt like I was doing pretty well with my makeup declutters. I felt like a lot of stuff I had was super old and I was doing pretty regular declutter videos. I know I didn't declutter as much as I wanted to. There's definitely things that at the end of the year I knew I could have decluttered. I just didn't have a chance to film them, so I was kind of holding off on it. But I was adding up these numbers because I just completed doing my updated inventory tallying, and it's not as good as I want it to be. And I feel like I didn't buy that much makeup, but like maybe it's just that makeup is so small that it doesn't like pile up literally and figuratively as like clothing does and like stuff like that. So I don't know, because I kind of felt like, oh, my makeup's gonna save me when it comes to tallying up my numbers, that like even if my clothing number goes up slightly, my makeup will be way down, so it's fine. So yeah. We're gonna get into the numbers and then I'll reveal some more thoughts on it after we get through that. I'm proud of myself. I'm like an organized mess kind of person. Like I have a lot of stuff and I have stuff everywhere, but like this list from my tally from a year ago, I knew where that was. I got that. So I have this to reference. I'm not gonna read up all the numbers from last year, but I'll read like the category totals. But I will read you all the numbers from this new one here. I think last year I started with like the face products, so I'll start with that again. And also I want to say that like there's a lot of categories that are just like no issue to keep the numbers down. And then like you'll see the like select ones that really inflate the numbers a lot. But yeah, for face products. Face primer, I have 4. Moisturizer / SPFs, I have 4. Concealers, 5. Foundation, 7. Face palettes, 10. Bronzers, 1, which is nice because I never use bronzers. I think I had 2 last year. So, I mean, I cut that in half. Pretty good, right? For blush, I have 17. Highlighters, I have 11. Face powders, I have 5. Face and setting sprays, I have 2. Sponges, I have 3. And face brushes, I have 23. So that gives me a total of 93 face products, which isn't all that bad. Last year, my face products total was 102. So I cut it down by 9 products, but also like, I don't know. Some of these categories are things that I know I can get rid of things kind of easily. And like brushes, I didn't go through at all this year. So yeah. I also think that's a category that because it's not like super inflated, there's not that much room for improvement within it. So while I can and will do better in that, it's not like a make it or break it kind of category, you know? The next category is eyes, which is a make it or break it kind of category. For eyeshadow palettes, 47. For single pan magnetic shadows, 437. For single shadows that aren't like magnetic pans, I have 38. Pot liners, I have 9. Pencil or pen liners, I have 37. Mascaras, I have 9. Eye primers, I have 3. Lashes, I have 5. Brow products, I have 5. And eye and brow brushes, I have 51. So that gives me a grand total of 641 eye products. Last year, my total for that was 617. Now, my comments on that. First of all, I remember saying when I totaled this up last year, and for like the non-magnetic shadows, I had 65. Now that's 38. When I tallied up the 65, I was like, that doesn't even make sense. Like, how the hell do I have 65? And as I was tallying these up, I'm like, all right, this kind of makes sense. Like, I felt like I have like a little bit more of an understanding of my collection than I did at this point last year. So that's kind of nice. The big one that went up, of course, is my single shadows. It was $383. Now it's $437. I know I purchased, I think it was like 96 or something like that, single shadows throughout the year. So that shows that I got rid of about 50. But also something that isn't really accounted for in these totals that skews the numbers is that there were a couple palettes I could think of specifically. Recently, I depotted my Jeffree Star Blood Sugar palette. And I didn't keep all the shadows. I think I kept 12 of them for now. But with the way I'm counting products, that counted as 1 last year and it counted as 12 this year. Because one single shadow carries the same weight as one palette. So, I don't know. That's like just the problem with these numbers. And to combat that, I did at one point last year count up all of like my palettes and count the pans in all of them, and I concluded that I had about like 1,000 pans of eyeshadow in my collection. So I think if I end up doing that soon, that will be obviously a more comparable number, because yeah, this doesn't account for when shadow palettes are transferred into becoming pans. Yeah, I just feel like I'm gonna transform this. I just feel like it's going to be so different when I tally up these numbers next year. I'm going to be so much more aware of everything that I'm purchasing this year, and I'm going to be decluttering things. I'm going to be more honest with myself about that. Mark my word. Mark my word. The next category is lip products. So for lip balms, I have 23. This was actually a pretty transformative category also. Lip balms, I have 23. Lip liners, I have 20. Lipsticks, 46. Lip glosses, 30. Matte liquid lipsticks, 24. And non-matte liquid lipsticks, 25. So that brought me to a total of 168. Last year, my total for lips was 245. So I really got rid of about a third. About a third of my lip products I got rid of. And certain categories like matte liquid lipsticks, I used to love matte liquid lipsticks back in the day, back in like 2015, 2016. And that was a category that in my declutters, I got rid of so many matte liquid lipsticks. I started the year with 88 and I finished the year with 24. So I have basically, slightly more than a quarter of the matte liquid lipsticks that I started the year with. So that's pretty good. Lip balms is a category that I went way up in. I had 10 at the start of the year and I have 23 now. It also is kind of an issue though with this inventory that I'm like, did I count this as a lip balm last year? I feel like I'm counting things that I might have counted as lipsticks last year as balms now. I don't know if I was only saying balms as like things I put on my lips before I go to bed. I don't know. Either way, pretty happy about that. Even lipstick, which is a category that like I enjoy a lipstick. It went from 65 last year to 46 now. The final category, I'm just calling it like other. And this category, I actually added a subcategory into. I added candles. I've definitely become way more interested in fragranced things recently. I've read about it like being a thing for a lot of people in the pandemic. So like not just me, but it's like we're more interested in like things that relax us, and like aromatherapy is a great relaxer. So because of that, I'm into candles. I was never into candles before, but now I'm into candles. So I added a category called candles in here. I think I just said that in the most roundabout way. So for hair products, I counted hair products that I keep in my room. I didn't count any bathroom hair products, which is really just like shampoos and masks, because it's never something that I've purchased in excess. So for hair products, I have 22, skin products, 22, nail colors, 105, nail care, 3, perfume samples, 22, larger than samples perfumes, 12, and candles 7. So that brought me to a total of 193. Last year I had 191 in that category, but keep in mind I didn't have candles in there. So if I kept this without candles, then I would have 186. So it would be slightly less than it was last year, but instead it's slightly more. This is a category that, again, we're gonna make progress in. I'm just so hopeful. I'm just so hopeful for the future now. It's not even hope, because it's like I'm in control of it and I know it's going to be good and different, but I'm planning on doing like a nail polish collection and declutter. I didn't really look critically at my nail polishes all of last year. I only got a couple, probably under 10 I bought throughout the year, and I decluttered a couple here and there when I was really inspired, but I'm going to declutter a bunch this year, mark my word. And then for perfume samples, I have a couple that are empty that I put to the side to do an empties video, and I haven't gotten around to doing it yet, so that's kind of a shame that I had to include them, but that number will go way down once I get to that. And even hair products, hair and skin. I feel like I got a bunch of samples towards the end of the year, and now it's like I'm specifically trying to not get samples when I order from like Ulta and stuff, or, you know, not even just like the like one sample you get from Sephora, but like Ulta will have like a big bag of samples with your order, and I just don't even want that anymore. So for my grand total, actually didn't add this up yet. My grand total for my makeup inventory for the start of 2022 is 1,095 products. I started last year with 1,155. So I've decreased my collection by 60 items. So I mean, maybe I shouldn't, I don't know. I really try to not be like hard on myself, just because like it doesn't matter. It's like there's no point scolding myself for the past. Like all I can do is look forward. But, you know, maybe it was silly of me to feel like I wasn't acquiring so much makeup that I was superseding the amount that I was decluttering. Like I should have known. That's my point. I guess I should have known. And this year, if you watch like my budgeting video, it's like I set myself very realistic goals for how I'm going to be spending each month. And I also set myself like an item limit. So I'm going to be purchasing under 100 pans of shadows and under 100 items. And I just know that when we're doing this, a year from now, I'm going to be like, because this is so doable. Like last year is my start, and now I see the results of last year. We're moving forward, and the future's bright. This is so cheesy. But that's all I have to say for today. If you're interested in seeing how this goes and following my journey, please give me a like and subscribe. It really means a lot to me. And thanks for being here. Bye.